Hi everyone, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome and stay tuned because we've got another slow cooker recipe coming your way. So I've had this one on my radar for a while, and it is another recipe by Hungry Girl. I'm going to look to make sure I don't butcher the name, but it is a slow cooker garlic parm chicken. And only calls for a few ingredients. Again, slow cooker, 3 to 4 hours on high. I think it was 6 to 7 on low. I'll kind of get into all those details in just a minute. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn you around to get you a better look of the ingredients behind me. We'll talk about it, and then we'll start putting this together. Super excited because I'm gonna have this for dinner tonight, so I can't wait to see how yummy it turns out. So let's get you turned around and we'll get this recipe started. Okay, so what we're gonna need is 1.5 pounds of raw boneless chicken breast. Of course, I have frozen, pulled out of the freezer. We're going to need salt and pepper, 1/4 teaspoon each of those. 1.5 cups of chicken broth, and you know me, I always have the chicken base available so that I can just whip up my own anytime I need it. So we're gonna need 1.5 cups of chicken broth, 1 chopped onion, and I don't have a regular onion, we're just gonna use a red onion, so I think that'll be fine. We're gonna need 1/2 cup of reduced fat cream cheese. So I have my fat-free cream cheese here. I'll figure out how much 1/2 cup of this is. I think this is 8 ounces, probably about half the package. And that needs to be at room temperature, so I'm gonna go ahead and set a timer, and about 2 hours before the chicken is ready, I'll pull this out of the fridge and let that come to room temperature, maybe an hour. I think an hour should be enough, so we'll do that. 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and I should probably have the regular Parmesan cheese, but I always have this on hand because it's my granddaughter's favorite, so I will use what I have. And then 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. So just regular store brand of those. And 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. And I seriously need to get to Costco because I am almost out. So this is going to really be bad if I run out. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this together, and I'm gonna get you a different angle. Matter of fact, I think this angle's fine, so let's see. First thing we need to do is we need to put our chicken in the slow cooker. So let's just do this right together. Bring it in. Chicken in a slow cooker. Next thing we need is 1/4 teaspoon. Is that driving you crazy? It's driving me crazy. All right, so 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. So I'm gonna pull, that's probably, some is gonna fall in there. That's probably 1/4 teaspoon right there. I'm just gonna pour it a little bit more in. All right. There's your pepper, and then your salt. There we go. And I'm just doing shy because I know some of that fell out, so. There's your salt, there's your pepper. It says to add the broth, the onion, and the garlic next. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a measuring cup and 1.5 cups of water. I'm gonna set this out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I have 1.5 cups of water there. We're gonna go ahead and open our chicken base. And it says here that 1 teaspoon, guess I need to get to the directions, 1 teaspoon per 1 cup. So I'm just gonna do a heaping teaspoon, that looks about right, and throw that in there. Now tell me if you do this. You guys are gonna laugh. But I have my mixer whisk, and it just seems like I can always find that one quicker. So that's the one I use when I mix this up. So do you guys do that? Do you just grab the quickest thing that you see when you're throwing together recipes? So that looks good. Just gonna pour that right into the crock pot. The next thing I need to do is chop up an onion. So I'm gonna do some TV magic here, so hang tight. I'll get this chopped and I'll be right back. Okay, we have our onion chopped. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that into the crock pot next. I'm just gonna bring this back over here. And I also wanna say thank you for all of your comments. I know that when I'm doing meal prep and such, that I make a lot of you cringe while I'm chopping things. And I just want to say thanks for all the tips. A lot of you have written in and said that I should put a paper towel or something on the bottom of the mat to keep it from sliding. And you're right, I should. I just don't think about it until after it's all said and done. Then I'm like, oh, I should have done that. So I just want to say thank you. Please keep those tips and comments coming because I sure can use the help. All right, 1 tablespoon of garlic. I've got that in there, and that's it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give this a quick little stir just to kind of get some of that stuff down into the pot. And then, well, my chicken's frozen. Maybe I'll take the top off here in a little while and try to give it another stir. So we're just going to go ahead and pop this on high for about 3 to 4 hours. So I will come back to you and show you what we have at that point when I finish it up. I'm going to try to gently move you, just show you what we have inside here. 4 chicken breast, salt, pepper, garlic, chicken broth, and an onion, I think is what we have in here so far. So stay tuned. I'll come back after a couple of hours have passed. All right, it's time to finish our dinner up. So the first thing we're going to do is I have 4 ounces of cream cheese here at room temperature. So we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of that onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and do that first. I'm always afraid I'm going to put too much in. Seems like this is just kind of coming up clumpy. We're just going to grab what we need out of here. All right, so we've got that. I'm just going to sprinkle that on top of our cream cheese. And then next up is our onion powder, which of course is a new one. Isn't that always the case? Get this open real quick. Okay, we've got that open. So we're just going to get a 1/2 teaspoon of that in here. I'm going to pop that right on top. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to stir this together. Mix those spices in. And then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. So I just have some regular grated Parmesan here. So I'm going to measure out a 1/4 cup of that. I have a 1/2 cup measuring cup, but I'm just going to fill that half full. I'm going to pour that in and just stir that in, and we're going to set this aside. All right, that looks good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our chicken and we're going to shred that. Move that out of the way, pull our chicken out. Got a feeling our chicken's going to shred itself. It's falling apart in the pan. So try to get that out. All right, last piece. Which again just fell apart in like 3 different pieces in here. I ran some errands earlier. Went to the grocery store. So it's kind of nice to be able to go and get what I need to get done, and then dinner was already ready when I got home. I also have on the stove some linguine noodles. I measured out 2 ounces of that. So that will be, I'm going to use that as my side with this, but actually I'm going to just put this on top, but it just sounded good. I'm not sure what you're supposed to have with it. I didn't read that far, but I think that that would be really good. All right, one more. Oh, it smells amazing. So we've got that done. Almost looks like I have way too much chicken, but I use the right amount. So let's pour it in here and see what we have. All right, we've got that in. Next thing it says to take a slotted spoon. I'm going to use a spatula. And to pull the onions out of there and add that to the bowl. And then it says that you can just use the broth for whatever else you want to use it for. And I guess I just don't think about that. I don't think to use the leftover broth for anything. But really the only thing we had in here was the salt, the pepper, the onions, and the chicken. So this would make a really good broth to use for later. All right, I think that's good. We've got all those out of there. I'm just going to unplug my crock pot and start to give this a stir. It smells absolutely amazing. I'm going to switch this out and grab a spoon because I think it might actually mix easier than trying to do it with that fork. Here we go. I can scrape off that cheese off the bottom here. All right, that's incorporating a lot better. All right, so how does that look? Looks pretty good, right? All right, I'm gonna grab my pasta. It has about another minute and a half to go, so I'm gonna get that drained. And then I'll get this plated up and I will show you the final product. Just gonna do some double checking here to make sure I did not miss a step, because there's nothing worse than trying to get all this ready and then you forgot something. Nope, that's it. All right, so from the way that this was written, this was 3 smart points per serving. And this does make a total of 6 servings. Now, I swapped out the reduced fat cream cheese for a fat-free cream cheese. And I think I will calculate this. So stay tuned. When I get this plated up, I'll let you know how much the mixture was versus how much. I mean, it shows 3 here. I'm going to estimate it to be like 2 or 3, but let me get this calculated for you and then I'll come back. Okay, so here is my dinner. I have 6 smart points of linguine. It's a whole wheat linguine noodle. And the mixture comes out, are you guys ready for this? 7 smart points for the entire batch. So this is 1 smart point worth of mixture on top of my 6 points noodles. And that makes my entire dinner 7 smart points. So doesn't that look delicious? All right, so that's another recipe. I did taste the chicken mixture and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm super excited to have this. I'm going to actually take this for lunch for a couple of days next week. So this is gonna be delicious. I may actually make some zoodles so I could cut down on the pasta, especially if I'm gonna have it for lunch. So I may just go ahead and make this with half pasta, half zucchini noodles, and then it should be more like 3 or 4 smart points for lunch. So with that said, let me know in the comments if you've made this before. And also let me know in the comments if you noticed that when I started the video, my nails were blue. And then when I ended the video, they were actually pink. So if you did not notice, put blue. And if you did notice, put pink. We'll have a little fun with this video today. All right, so with that said, signing off from here. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.